Let's take a look at what's going on with Dogecoin today. All right, so here's what I've been looking at the past couple days. I have a bunch of lines on my chart, and we've kind of had we've broken a bunch of trends and stuff like that. So, all right. So last time I think we were looking at resistance, 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 support, support, support. We kind of formed a triangle pattern. We broke that going to the upside, and ever since then we were on two uptrends. We had this uptrend right here, and then we had another uptrend right here where we're getting support, 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 support. So we broke this trend right here. Let's go ahead and get rid of this one. Boom, we were on an uptrend after we broke that resistance right there. Then we were looking at this line and we broke it going to the downside. The other thing that I was looking at is, or what kind of made me nervous, not nervous, but I had a feeling that we might be going down, is because we started getting lower highs right here where we got this high right here and then we got this high right here, lower highs. So what I was doing is looking at this support line right here. Those supports gave me that trend line, and we actually broke that going to the downside. That was another signal. So we had the lower highs, something like that, and then I was watching this trend line specifically, and we broke that going to the downside. Then I started looking at this support, 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 support. I was thinking if we break this. I wanted to give it a chance. Honestly, I haven't traded this because, as you guys might know, on my last couple videos, I've been saying that I was targeting .248 as a limit order. So when it came down, I bought up .248, and then we got that nice little run to the upside. What my target was, I think what I mentioned in my last videos, is if we could hold support right here and start moving up, then I'd be targeting the next Fibonacci retracement level at .294, somewhere around there. But like I said, we came up here, got this top, and then we started getting a lower high, something like that, and started moving to the downside. Then we broke that trend, boom. And then I was looking at this support, boom, boom, boom. These supports over here. Then we actually broke this one. So let's go ahead and get rid of this trend line because we broke that. We're still looking at this trend line over here because we have resistance, 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 giving me this trend line. So basically we are in this downtrend right now. And like I was saying, I was also looking at this support line right here, support, 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 support. I was thinking if we break this one, then that might be like this like third signal that we might be going to the downside because we had this trend line. Okay, so we had the lower highs, right? That was the first signal. And then we broke this trend line going to the downside, second signal. And then this one was like the third signal. But like I said, I'm still trying to accumulate, so I didn't trade this. So yeah, let's go ahead and delete this one because we broke that as well. So now we were looking at, these are the last two lines that we had left. We had support, 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 giving me this trend line right here. And then we actually broke this one going to the downside. What I was going to say is I've been trying to accumulate, so I haven't really been too eager to sell at these levels. I was thinking if we come up here, I would, but we didn't do that. So we're on a downtrend right now. We broke this uptrend as well. Boom. I wouldn't have blamed you if you would have sold, when we broke up here, when we broke this trend line. Something like that. Not sold. I mean, if you bought over here, I was thinking of selling right here, but I didn't. But I wouldn't have blamed you if we would have broke that trend line and you would have sold. That would have been a pretty good call. So yeah, we're looking at this downtrend right here. We still haven't broke it. We are testing it right now, though. It does look like we might be getting a little bit of support and bouncing. Let's see if we could break that trend line going to the upside. I think that's the main line that I'm looking at right now. We could even delete that one because we broke it. So let's drag this out, and until we break this trend line going to the upside, then it's possible that we can continue to head down and maybe even fill this limit order again. Let's see, how much percentage are we now? I don't know, I'm kind of late to the party on this one, but that's still like 6.8%. like I was saying, until we break this trend line going to the upside, I'm thinking that it might come back down here, but it does look like we're testing it right now. I'm trying to give it a chance. I've been trying to give it a chance the whole time. We got these, like I said, we didn't quite come up and hit my target, so I'm not too eager to sell. But let's see what happens. We're in a downtrend. Let's see if we can break it going to the upside. Let's see what else can we look at. I think that's the main thing that I'm looking at. I'm on the hourly time frame, watching this downtrend right here, and I'm waiting for it to break to the upside. The other thing we can take a look at is the daily time frame and the 9 moving average real quick, because that was one of the other things that I was focusing on. Let's go ahead and delete this one real quick just so we can focus on the 9 moving average. So in my last video, we were talking about how we want to be on top of the 9 moving average. Okay, so let's look at the 9 moving average in general. We have this blue line right here, the 9 moving average on the daily time frame. So we broke below it down here, and ever since then we were getting resistance on it, resistance, pushing us to the downside. Once we break above it, like right here, and start getting support on it, then we can start like hoping that it's going to continue to push to the upside. In general, it's like a good position to be in, and for us to be on top of the 9 moving average like this, as opposed to being below it. Right here, we tested it. We actually did break below it. We're still above it right now, but let's see what happens. The other thing that I don't really care for is, do you see how it's like kind of curling over already? Like it's like I don't know. What I would rather see it do is go something like this. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's going to, I don't know. What I'm thinking though is it might break through it going to the downside, just because the way it's kind of curving over like that. Like I said, what I would like to rather see it do is something like that and continue to bounce on it. We'll see what happens. When this candle closes, we still have 10 hours and 45 minutes until the candle closes. So let's see if it can hold support on here, continue to bounce to the upside, or if we break through that 9 moving average on the daily time frame, and then we can get more confident on targets going to the downside. Yeah, so let's take a look at the weekly real quick. I was also talking about in my last video how like we have the weekly 9 moving average right here. Where my pen? We have the weekly 9 moving average right here, and we broke below the weekly over here. Ever since then, we've been coming up, getting resistance and resistance on that 9 moving average. In the weekly, we're in a more bearish position, I guess, because we are under that 9 moving average. What we want to do is break above it. But the thing I talked about is we might have to go sideways for a while before the 9 moving average could catch up, and then we could break through it going sideways, as opposed to having to try to break through it going straight up. That's just what I'm thinking though. That's kind of what we did on the daily time frame over here. Is maybe, I can't remember what it was, but I think it was maybe when we were over in this area, the 9 moving average was like way up here, and then the as we kind of went sideways, the 9 moving average had a chance to catch up with us, and then we broke it going sideways right here. It was easy. I feel like it's easier to do that going sideways as opposed to trying to break through it like that. So yeah, let's see what happens with this 9 moving average on the daily. I don't know. It's kind of, like I said, I don't really like the way it's curving to the curving down, not curving down, but changing that curve. I would like to see the curve go like that as opposed to going like that. But we'll see what happens. I'm kind of tempted to, like I said, I came down. We bought the Fibonacci retracement level. I'm kind of tempted to sell it right here, to sell this particular position, and then try to get that limit order back again. It's still like 6%, but I don't know. It was up actually pretty good. Let's go to the 1 hour time frame. From and over here, when I first got that first signal where I was like, oh, it's starting to kind of go down a little bit. It kind of looks like we're topping out a little bit. From here, let's see, it was something like this. Somewhere like around here would have been still 12%. So I kind of missed out on that, but it's okay. Let's see what else. Like I said, I think the main thing I'm looking at is the 1 hour time frame, this trend line right here. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see if we could break it going to the upside, or if we continue to push down and it continues to give us trouble, and we continue to come down and test that 248 Fibonacci retracement level. I think if we break .248 decisively, like on the daily time frame, and start Well, even the four, I don't know, it depends. Like the 4 hour too, I guess you could even look at. But what I'm trying to say is if we break this Fibonacci retracement level going to the downside, the next spot that I'd be looking at is .185. I do have a limit order here, a small one, but I don't know how confident I am on that. I've been talking about that, how I'm not super confident on this limit order down here, but it's possible. We got a big, huge wick to the downside and then came back up and got support on that .248 level, the 61% Fibonacci retracement level. And if you're new here and you're not aware of the Fibonacci retracement levels or Fibonacci retracement tool, it's when we have a big, huge run or a big run in general, and then we start topping out, kind of like we did over here a little bit, where we start getting signals where it's like, hey, we're not getting higher highs anymore. We did technically get a higher high right there, but we did kind of start to like fizzle out instead of like, because we had this like big bull flag formation. Anyways, I thought maybe we're having trouble, so I set up the Fibonacci retracement level. I thought maybe we're topping out, drag from the bottom of that run to the top of that run, and then it gives us levels that it might retrace down to. It gives us levels to dollar cost average, and also these levels a lot of times act as support and resistance, because I feel like a lot of other people are using these too. So I took profits right here. Then I started buying up the Fibonacci retracement levels, and like right here, I bought, sold, bought, and then I was gonna sell. Well, not necessarily. I talked about that in the last video, how I also watched the trend. Okay, so like I was telling you guys that we were following that trend, and we actually broke it going to the downside. Well, actually there was a couple of them. There was one like that, and that's another thing too, is like a lot of these times we'll break like one trend, and then we'll get like that confirmation. We'll get like multiple signals that it might be heading down. So like I said, lower highs like that, and then we started breaking that one going to the downside. So that was our second signal, and I was hoping, I was trying to give it a chance. There was another trend line in here. I think it was something like right here, like I was showing at the beginning. That was the third signal. So I'm just I haven't really been trading though. So I mean, not right now. I'm more trying to accumulate. But it does look like we might be testing this trend line going to the upside. Let's see if we could break through that trend line. Let's also delete these ones just so we can get that better look again. Something like that, because that's like really the main thing that I'm focusing on right now. Yeah, let's see if we break this trend line going to the upside. The next spot that I'll be looking to break are like the previous resistances, which would be, yeah, I mean, in general, if we break it going up, then maybe we're starting to change direction again, and then in which case I would look at the supports, boom, boom, and draw another trend line going to the upside. So basically, if you're new to trend lines too, then basically when we're going down, we're looking at, or when we're going down, we're looking at the lower highs right there, and then we draw the trend line. But when we're going down, we're looking at the tops, and then when we're going up, we're looking at the bottoms, the support. So we have the bottom right here, the bottom right here. That is what we would be looking at if we could change direction and continue to head up. Technically, right now we are in a small little uptrend going to the upside. Let's see if we can continue this uptrend and break this downtrend, that resistance going to the upside. Maybe we could start doing something like this. This might give us some trouble, or like, well, if we break this one, then we can get more confident on that Fibonacci retracement level. And like I said, I use those Fibonacci retracement levels as targets, either going to the upside or to the downside. Like I was saying, we're on this downtrend. If we continue on this downtrend, the next spot that I'd be looking at is .248. Like I said, I haven't been trading it, but I wouldn't be surprised if either we got support right here, or we even just came down and hit it. If we don't break that downtrend, if we can continue on this uptrend and break through that resistance, then I'll start looking at .294 again as a target. Meaning, if we can continue to head up, boom, 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 then hit the target, I'll be looking at that trend line, something like that. See how long we could ride this trend line. If we start breaking it, like we were breaking these trend lines over here, then I'll consider taking profits on this position like I told you that I bought earlier. And I consider all these, like I was telling you, I bought. I consider these all separate positions, and I'm only dealing with one of them at a time. So yeah, I'm not just like selling everything when we break a trend line, if you know what I mean. So like we had this trend line right here, just because, well, I didn't trade any of it on this one, but just because we broke this one doesn't mean that I was going to sell all these other positions. It just means that I would have, or okay, let's go back. Sorry. If we go up, hit the target, and we have that trend line and we break it, then I'm only going to be selling this one, not all my Dogecoin, if that makes sense. I'm going to, like, I trade them individually, and like I said, I'm trying to accumulate right now, so I don't mind buying and holding. I don't mind waiting another 4 years or whatever to, you know, hold the bag, I guess you could say. You know, follows Bitcoin, so every 4 years, it's probably going to get a pop, at least a pretty good bull run. So that's my kind of strategy or hypothesis, I guess you can say. But I think about does it. I'm tired today, guys. I just woke up. I do these videos right when I wake up, so sometimes if I'm like if I don't make sense perfectly, then that's probably why. But yeah, gotta go to work. All right, enough about that. So if you guys like this video, hit that thumbs up, and if you aren't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. If you want to check out the last video, check it out right here, and if you're new to trading, check out this playlist right here, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, later, guys.